All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. We are so excited to have you. Thank you for registering. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Chantel Fitzgerald, founder of Mindset Strategies, partner with Evolution, and of course, founder of the Leadership Institute for Black Women. If you are just tuning in, if you don't mind, maybe just take a moment to write in the chat, where are you logging in from? Just so we can get a sense of who everyone is and where they're located. So feel free to just type in the chat, where are you located and where are you calling in from as you join us today. So it's great to connect with you all. Awesome. Excellent. So great. We've got somebody from Philadelphia, from Kansas City. Hello, Toya. Welcome. Yes, if you're just arriving, please type in the chat where you are calling in from. We have people all over the nation. So exciting, from San Francisco to Lansing, Michigan. Amazing, amazing. Awesome. So with that, I want to welcome you all, and I'm also going to pass it off to Phil, our partner at Graduate Philadelphia, to share a little bit more about Graduate Philadelphia and our partnership with each other.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, morning, or evening, everyone. My name is Phil Brooks. I am the Vice President of Programming and Innovation at Graduate Philadelphia. If you're not familiar with Graduate Philadelphia, we're a nonprofit that really focus on adult learners and connecting them to post-secondary opportunities and credentials, as well as workforce opportunities. We do this in a myriad of ways, but really focus on the adult and building bridges to success. We do this through advising services. We do this through specific models and frameworks. We have conversations with employers to really understand what some of the workforce needs are and how we can ensure that adult learners in this amazing area can get connected to colleges, universities, opportunities for connections to connect to degrees, all of the above. We're really excited for this partnership. I'm really excited to hear a little bit more because I got a chance to preview some of the slides. It's pretty dope. Part of it is really understanding, why we're in the space that we're in. So with that said, if folks do have more questions about Graduate Philadelphia, I encourage you to just go online, check out our website, and look at some of the services that we provide. But more importantly, feel free to reach out. In the next few moments, I'll put my contact information in the chat if you have additional questions. But with that, I'll pass things back over.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Phil. Yes, and we are so grateful to partner. And one other thing I will say about our partnership with Graduate Philly is that, as you all know, we run the Leadership Institute for Black Women, and it just so happens that the majority of the people that Graduate Philadelphia serves happen to be Black women. And so in our program, we thought it would be a great opportunity for the women in our cohort to not only practice their leadership and facilitation, but to also give back to other women in the Graduate Philadelphia program. So that's why our partnership, we thought it was a nice connection there, and we're so thrilled and excited to be working with you, Phil, and Malik and Chris and the whole team at Graduate Philly. So thank you so much. And with that, we are pleased. And of course, at Mindset Strategies, we do leadership development and the Leadership Institute. So if anybody's ever interested in our program, we have our next cohort coming up in March. And we also have another leadership program starting in April. And we'll be putting those links in the chat as well for anybody interested in wanting to be in a community of other women, like-minded individuals. We would welcome you in our next cohort and future leadership programs. So with that, I want to pass it off to our amazing presenters of today. We have Kelly Warren from Virtua. We have Kelly Cox from Mainline Health, and also Vanessa Saylor from Mainline Health, and they are our presenters for today. And I'm going to pass it over to them to kick us off on mastering the art of crucial conversation. So take it away, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, Chantel. As Chantel mentioned, my name is Vanessa Saylor. I'm the System Director for Health Equity at Mainline Health. I'm a social worker by trade, and I have a Doctor of Education in Pastoral Care and Counseling because I believe in faith and action. And so that's me. And I'm going to ask my colleagues to introduce themselves briefly.
I am,
Go ahead, Kel.
okay, hi, I am Kelly Cox. I am a sterile processing manager, stat team as well of Mainline Health. So that means I have technicians all over through the health system. And I am happy to be here, and I'm going to pass it off to Vanessa.
To Kelly Warren.
Kelly.
I'm sorry, Kelly, I'm sorry.
I'm the other Kelly Warren. I am a nurse director here at Virtua. I have been through many of our campuses in the Virtua health system. I do hold a master's in nursing. I'm currently in school for my doctorate in nursing as well. I run a 54-bed unit, and I am just happy to be here today.
Thank you. So as Chantel mentioned, we're going to be talking today about mastering the art of crucial conversations. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about what we're going to be covering today. I'll be sharing what the objectives are for us to hopefully ensure that you will walk away with something tangible today. We'll talk about self-awareness. Kelly Warren will define crucial conversations. Kelly Cox is going to take you through a 7-step model for crucial conversations. We're going to have some time of practice, some time of reflection, and then we will wrap up. So next slide, please. So our objectives are to understand the importance, why crucial conversations are important, how we have those conversations, how we improve relationships and our decision making. We're going to learn some tools and techniques for having those conversations, and we're going to apply some of what we hear today. Certainly throughout the presentation today, please feel free to raise your hand, ask questions as we go along. You can also put some questions or comments in the chat. As each of us are doing our portion of the presentation, we will monitor that chat and make sure that we address what we find there. Next slide, please. So I want to share a little bit about self-awareness, because before we can even think about having conversations, it's really important for us to have self-awareness, for us to know our own thoughts, our own feelings, and our own emotions before going into what Kelly Warren's going to talk a little bit about, some emotionally charged conversations at times. So we want to do a check, right? So what's going on in my head? What's happening? What am I thinking? Am I on point? Where is this coming from? What is going on in my head? And then what's going on in my body, right? What's happening? Do I feel that hot sensation coming over me? Am I feeling, upset, angry? Like what's happening that's going on in my body that's letting me know that something's not quite right? Check that out. And then what are my highest intentions? Because as I hope we see later on as we move through the presentation, we want our intentions to really be around problem solving and finding mutual understanding, mutual purpose. So what are my highest intentions for the conversation that I need to have? So crucial conversation really starts first with self, goes from there. So I am going to pitch it to my colleague, Kelly Warren, who's going to talk about what is a crucial conversation.
Amazing. Thank you, Vanessa. Next slide. So what is a crucial conversation? And exactly it is what it says. It is a crucial conversation, and it's a discussion between two or more people where the stakes are high, and then you have a difference of opinion, and those opinions are very emotion driven. So a crucial conversation discussion is characterized by, high stakes. You have differing opinions and strong emotions, and these conversations have a significant impact on your life, and they often happen in everyday conversation. They're not like planned or at high level meetings. They could be, but these crucial conversations often happen in your everyday conversation. You can have a crucial conversation with your significant other, right? Because they're sometimes emotionally charged. Your opinions will vary, right? And sometimes the stakes are high. Your children, other family members, the workplace, you can have an in casual conversation like what we're experiencing right now. And I'm sure that most of us that are on social media are having crucial conversations about politics right now, right? And also in church. It happens in the church area as well. So some of those, can you think of a time when you could be having a crucial conversation, or that can you think of a time when you've had a conversation recently? And you can just raise your hand, or can you think of some times when that you think what would be a crucial conversation? I see Mimi.
Yes, around compensation.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that could be hiring as well as coming on to a new job. So negotiating as well as promotional.
Yeah, absolutely. Negotiating the salary is definitely a crucial conversation. Different opinion, emotions are running high. The stakes are high. Anyone else?
I think around performance as well. If you have someone that's underperforming, that crucial conversation can be very important, and emotions can run high there as well, right? When you're having to address performance and what's needed for them to be able to improve and the expectations.
Absolutely. Because that's always a difference of opinion, I'm in my evaluation period right now, and I have people who may think they're a top talent, and then I have to evaluate them and then explain why. So the emotions, run strong, and opinions are varying, and the stakes are high because sometimes their merit increase is dependent upon that evaluation. So definitely
Yes.
a conversation. Anyone else? Okay. So what I like to say to my staff here when we have difference of opinion and the stakes are running high and our emotions are running high, one of my mantras that I made for myself is there can be no reconciliation without confrontation. And healthy conflict is essential in the workplace. There healthy conflict is because we all are different. If everybody is thinking the same, somebody isn't thinking. So there's always going to be a conflict, right? So I always say there can be no reconciliation without confrontation. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so let's do an icebreaker here. So this fact, which is actual, or fiction, which is assumed? I can tell by the scowl on her face that she had a problem with me. What do we think that is?
Assumed.
Yeah.
Assumption. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an assumption. And sometimes, we all say that I don't say much, but my face tells it all, but that's an assumption.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very guilty for that. I can be in my own world thinking about something else, and there can be a conversation going on, and somebody say, what's that face about, Kelly? That's just who I am. I wear my heart on my face. Please. I felt humiliated when you publicly stated that you were disappointed with the project we presented. What do you think that is?
That's fact.
Factual.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Your feelings, yes, absolutely. Your feelings cannot be validated. They are your feelings. You own them.
Mhm.
So you did publicly state that you were disappointed with the project. So that's a fact. But, and I felt humiliated. So you're not saying you humiliated me when you said that. You're saying I felt, they're my feelings, they're valid. When you did say that, you did say that. So then the conversation happens. Well, I didn't mean it that way. You always want to assume good intent, but that's when those emotions start happening, and the conversation needs to continue from fruit to a point of reconciliation with the confrontation. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Kelly.
Hello, everyone. So what we're going to do right here, we're going to navigate through the 7-step model for crucial conversations. One is start with the heart, stay in dialogue, make it safe. Don't get hooked by emotions or agree a mutual purpose, separate facts from story, and agree on a clear action plan. Next slide. So steps 1 and 2 starts with the heart. Recognize your role in this issue with someone, manage your emotion and your mindset. Approach the conversation with positive intent and stay open-minded. Step 2, stay in dialogue, maintain open dialogue, use active listening and mutual respect. And they have something where it's called an open, ask open questions, mirror emotions, paraphrase their words, and prime when they hesitate. So I know I just recently had to have something with someone, and a crucial conversation, and that was the one thing I wanted to be open-minded with in regards to the person, and not having my emotions involved, and to listen to them carefully of what they needed to talk about. Yes, Vanessa.
So thank you for that, Kelly. I just wanted to emphasize too, your step 1 there was start with the heart, going back to that self-awareness. I know for myself, that is so important to do that check-in for myself, because if I don't, I could take the conversation in a way that I didn't mean for it to go. And the hearer is not really hearing me because I'm letting, my emotions and all these, assumptions I'm making. So when you mentioned start with the heart, it just took me back to the self-awareness piece. Yeah. So thank you for that, Kelly.
Yeah. Next slide, please. And then steps 2, 3 and 4, it says make it safe. Recognize when a conversation turns crucial. Ensure psychological safety, recognize the signs of distress, and focus on intent, and apologize when necessary. I wanted to go back to, before I go to step 4, to ensure psychological safety, because people will feel like they're being attacked, and they need to know that they're in a safe environment when you have to have those crucial conversations. I think that's important. And especially, and some people may become defensive because if the environment is not safe. That's just my opinion. So we try to make it safe for them, recognize any distress that they may have, and just apologize also, like it says, when it's necessary. Step 4, don't get hooked by emotions. Definitely stay in control. Identify your emotions, recognize that you have a choice in how you respond, stick to facts, stick to the facts, and ask for their perspective, and present your thought as possible, not absolute truth. Because we all think differently, and we can analyze some things differently. So we definitely need to make sure that we stick to the facts and ask their perspective on whatever they're going through. Next slide, please. Steps 5 and 6. Agree a mutual purpose. Share a goal or a path. Identify common ground. Align on a mutual purpose. And ask what you can do, what do I want from them? And keep asking why. And try to collab on a solution. Resolution is very important. When they walk, our takeaway when we walk out the room or wherever the environment we in, a solution should become we should have a solution, I'm sorry. And separate facts from the story, because I know sometimes we have to distinguish between the facts, the story, identify story types that shift blame. The victim, it's not my fault. The villain, it's all your fault. And the ABC method to resolve disagreements is agree, identify, share facts and common ground. Build, use yes to expand the discussion rather than dismissing the other person's perspective. And that's a big thing for me, because we don't think the same, and how someone feels is important to them and it matters to them. And we always should keep that in mind when we having these conversations, because it may be how they perceive or receive the information or the situation. And compare, frame differences as alternate viewpoints rather than opposing arguments. Example, I think I see things differently. Anybody have anything on these or want to add or share? No. Next slide, please. And step 7, agree a clear action plan. A clear action plan making process is required to ensure action is taken effectively. Command, consult, vote, or build concessions. Consensus, I'm sorry. Little nervous. Thank you so much. Anybody have anything they want to add or build, or anything that they have experienced with this help you with having your crucial conversation? Yes, Kelly, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Kel. I think that sometimes in your crucial conversations, the step 7, where
Yes.
it says a clear decision-making process is required. I understand that that is a step 7, and that is the outline or the blueprint to having a crucial conversation. But we're human. Life is lifing, and people are peopling, right? So
yes.
Sometimes there is no decision-making process, a clear decision-making process. Sometimes things are still, left out in the open. You could leave, or it could be an assumed, or I want to say fake agreement.
Yes.
I've been in them before myself, like okay, yeah, all right. And I'm just saying, I really don't agree. So the stakes is still high. I'm still emotionally charged. I don't like what's being said. I don't like your point of view. So crucial conversations is not a one-time incident. These conversations can be repeated incidents, and we're still questioning the intent, right? So we still have to go back to the drawing board and go back to step number 1. And again, like Vanessa said, that self-awareness and checking your own feelings and figure out where is this coming from? What place are we drawing these emotions from? Is it subjective, objective? Is it objective? Is it something that's deep rooted? Is it what we call now, which is a trending word, triggering for us?
Yes.
So we have to be aware of what we are bringing to the table when we're having these crucial conversations, and be able to think objectively for the beneficence of the greater good.
Yes. Antoinette, thank you, Kelly.
What I wanted to say is sometimes when the conversation is going well and then it turns into a crucial conversation, when that happens and I can't get a handle on my emotions, what I say is, can we step away from this for now and meet back in about an hour, and make another arrangement when I know I can be in full control of how I'm feeling and look at it from a better point of view.
Be more objective.
Yes.
I think Vanessa had something also. Vanessa.
Oh,
Thank
I
you,
was
Antoinette.
yes, absolutely. And I just want to acknowledge what Antoinette is sharing, because we don't have to answer everything right away. And we don't have to attend every argument we're invited to, right? So when it feels like it's going in that direction, to be able to say, you know what, let's put a pin in it, and come back. As Kelly mentioned, crucial conversations sometimes happen over time. I did want to mention about viewpoints, though, the difference between viewpoints and arguments, right? We all have a viewpoint that is informed by different things, our experiences, our values. And so hearing one another's viewpoints is important, as opposed to framing it as, you know, something that's argumentative or oppositional. It's really just a way in which we view the problem or the way in which we view the world. And then going back to Kelly Cox's points about, you know, mutual building, you know, common ground, right? That's what we're hoping to get. So I love this, but I agree with Kelly Warren that it provides some framework, but we also don't want to be so married to the framework that we forget it's people involved. So
Yes.
this is helpful. This is helpful without a doubt. Gives us something to start with, but you know, people are flawed, so we do our best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
And it does require.
Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Vanessa.
Okay. Well, this is up, and Kelly Warren is going to facilitate our
Kelly
instructions.
I
No,
apologize.
no apologies. No apologies. It's fine.
Yeah, Kelly,
Yeah.
no, Kelly, you know, and then it's Kelly squared, and then there is Vanessa.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're passing the ball. It's awesome. We're having a great time here. So we're
Yeah, we are.
a little exercise here. We're going to practice and apply. First, before we practice and apply, does anybody have any part of any of the steps that they don't understand before you can apply it to a scenario? We just want to make sure everybody is they have a good comprehension about where those steps are in crucial conversations. Everybody's clear? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to break up in 3 rooms. So we're going to take all of our participants here. We're going to break up in 3 rooms evenly. And room number 1, we need you to role play. So we need we need a conversation with 2 sides going on. So room number 1, we want you to talk to a coworker who behaves offensively or makes inappropriate comments. One should be the person, you know, telling maybe these are coworkers, so you're actually peers. So you're talking to each other, and then one role play. So kind of make it interesting there, like have some pushback a little bit so we can see how you're going to overcome that pushback with the tools that you learned from Crucial Conversations. Room 2, we're going to have like maybe a manager giving an unfavorable performance review to someone who reports to you. And then room 3, coworkers again, does not complete assignments. You know, that person that's not pulling their weight, leaving you with all the work. We have those conversations a lot, I'm sure, in our workplaces. So we're going to ask our facilitator to break us up into 3 rooms. And I believe we'll go in a room. If you forget what your room topic is, we'll go in a room and remind you. Chris, are we able to put what their room, so they don't know what room they're going into? So once they get in there, I want them to remember what their topic is.
Yeah, so we put in the chat. Also, is it possible, Chris, to maybe screenshot or Mimi's asking for the principal. So I guess the model of the 1 through 7, maybe just screenshotting that and putting that in the chat as well. So people have that as a reference. But it looks like the guide is, so you're all going to be divided into these 3 groups. And then what they are supposed to do, Kelly, in these groups is discuss that, or discuss how they would go about having this crucial conversation as a group, or will there be other?
So there will be 2 actors. One actor is bringing the concern, and the other actor is responding to that concern. And the rest of the group will observe the dynamic and make some observations and have some discussion. How did it go? Was there something they could have done differently, you know, or something to that effect? Before everyone goes out to their rooms, if they haven't already, I was just going to ask if they had any questions about their instructions, but we'll pop in and give some some instruction if we need to.
Okay, great.
I am, okay. Thank you, Chantel. I did take a screenshot of the 7 steps too.
Yes, the 7-step model is fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me join this. I'll join the groups, make sure.
Hello, anyone?
Yes, hello, we can hear you.
Oh, great. So I'm assuming we're a group here?
No, I think this is still the main room. I don't know,
Okay.
Chris.
Okay.
I
Hi,
could
did
probably
she like
assign you.
join?
I
Did you-
didn't.
Did you just join or do you need to be put into a breakout room?
I'm assuming I need to be put into a breakout room.
Okay.
Yes. Are you
Okay.
familiar with the instructions?
Yes. I've been
Okay.
here for a minute.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, good. Let's put her into.
Sheila, you're in room 3.
Okay.
So maybe Sheila, but does she have to, maybe she didn't get that automatic push? Does she go to breakout rooms and kind of put herself in there and press join?
Yeah, I mean I can move her to 1. 1 only has 8 people in it, so I can move it to 1 and you should get a
Okay.
prompt, Sheila.
Okay. I
So
see it
did you get,
now. Yes.
all right, there you go. This is the definition of walking and chewing gum at the same time. So I just put the 7 in there. Steps too.
Yeah, it showed up in the chat.
Chantel looks frozen, which is why we always have multiple co-hosts, because she just left. Involuntarily just left. But, so
Yeah, it's definitely common practice to have multiple people as hosts.
yeah, stuff comes up like that, like sharing information. Vanessa and I have had like where the embedded video doesn't work, so that someone has to like open the slide deck, open it in YouTube, share it that way, so plan B and C always works.
Listen, you're getting real-time tutorials on dealing with technology, so that's a win.
Yeah. And I taught I taught on Zoom for a long time, so one thing is just not getting flustered.
Yeah.
Did everything work out okay? Because my Zoom went out.
Yeah, you just froze and then dropped, but yeah,
Okay,
they
good. I was
we
concerned that
reassigned
like,
Sheila.
okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys are behind the scenes when I'm having technical difficulties. It's beautiful to have you guys there.
We were just saying the exact same thing. We were just saying that it's good to have multiple hosts just in case technology messes up. So
Yes, at first I was like, does that mean the entire Zoom just collapsed? But I'm so glad you guys were still there because I think you're all co-hosts. So
Yes.
yeah, beautiful.
But we were just saying we were saying the exact same thing. Like
Oh my gosh. So yes.
3 hosts is probably the best. 2 is okay. 3 is
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. Yes, you guys are holding it down. A beautiful thing. Yes.
And then I prompted them a minute from, and they're just going to close automatically. So they should all just reappear after 60-second warning
Okay.
is given.
Okay, great.
I just let it run too, because I know they're going to run up against time, as everyone tends to do. So
Yes, yeah, I know. Especially when you go into breakout groups and have great discussions and then coming back, it's like, oh, yeah. Do you guys see any graduate Philly people from your side in here?
I wrote down the names for Vanessa has the sign up side too, so she'll check it against that. But I also try to print the screen to snip the screen just so she has a shot of the Brady Bunch. But there's like, I don't know how many participants right now. A lot. 30?
Yeah, we had about
Or
30.
27?
Yeah, close to 40. Yeah, close to 40. So hopefully there's a good amount of graduate Philly people in the room.
I'm recognizing names, but I don't know if I'm recognizing them from previous workshops here,
yeah.
right? Like some of the names sound familiar. None of them
Yeah.
are my advisees. So there's a couple of first names that
Yeah, I do
look like they
invite,
are.
I invite alumni that have participated through this program before. So I invite them back, and others invite, people. So we put it out there. But yeah, I also invite alumni as just a way to stay connected to the community.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's some folks in there. There's some folks that joined with like names that I recognize that Vanessa will double check. So
Yeah, awesome. Really great. All right, I'm gonna go off
they're
just for a second.
27, 9 and 3 breakout rooms, which is great. Minus the three presenters.
All I'm thinking about is data and metrics and our numbers.
Yes. They should be back in like 25 seconds.
Awesome. They're having good conversations in there.
Yeah, these were some nice exercises to go through. So pretty good.
I agree.
Okay, our group was great.
Mine too. Yeah.
Yours too?
Yes, absolutely. Great conversation.
So if we could bring that slideshow back up.
You got it. I'm taking attendance.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. No, we're back. Here we go.
I'm curious to know, how did that go? What did the group say?
Who was in group number one? Like anybody want
Yeah, just yeah, so we're group one, and I think it was someone said something, yeah, talk to a coworker behaves offensively or makes inappropriate comments. So we really discussed that this is definitely one of those situations where you're going to really lead with your heart, and also to not stay in emotions as well. But the key is figuring out what is fact and what's fiction, what is assumed, and what's fact. I mean, that's going to be vitally important, because we were talking about how people are just different, and how people approach communication in different ways. People have different communication styles, people have different working styles. So sometimes some things someone may find offensive, another person is like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, we just say those things all the time. It wasn't a big deal in my last workplace. So you have to really determine what was actually said, right? So you have to ask, stay in dialogue, paraphrase. And so you really have to kind of determine what direction do I go here? Because it could be, okay, we just need to follow up on like community standards, ways to effectively communicate with one another, understanding cultural differences and how people communicate. It could be more of building some skills and asking that person to, action plan of working on some things, and kind of checking in with them about that, reinstating community values and how you engage with one another. Or it could be, oh, okay, well, this is widely offensive, very rude. It could be, who knows, like behavior, who knows what type of level of behaviors. If it is that, then that would escalate up, I would assume we were talking about, to HR. And so then there's specific, kind of guidelines to go through in that manner. But the key would be, we have to understand what was said, what was done. And so it is good for you to approach this person in a more neutral way, because if they're super defensive, if they feel like, hey, I haven't done anything, and they're defensive because they're thinking that you're already going to accuse them of something or be negative, you probably won't get the information you need, and it may just shut down the conversation and be very antagonistic. So that's what we talked about. Either it can be about skills building for this person, or it can be, we have to kind of go up the HR train, ladder with this, and see where it goes from there. Affect your performance or even your employment. Really depends. Oh, I think Kelly, where are you on mute, Kelly?
Sorry about that. Thank you so much for that, Greta. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate that. How about room 2? Anybody want to elaborate? I was in that room, but we had great conversation. So who would like to talk about what you guys talked about?
I was in room 2, and Tiffany and I role played, and she was the manager, and I was the employee that was receiving the unfavorable performance review. And right from the beginning, she did very well. She had asked me if I had had any questions prior to going into it, but she also explained to me some of the areas that I needed improvement on, which for us was like feedback, me not receiving feedback very well from a coworker. And I just kind of went like, where we know employees can go at times is, well, other people are doing this. It's not just me. And are you talking to them? And more or less deflect, what about everybody else, not really focusing on myself and what I've done and what I need to do. But she did really well at bringing me back in and telling me that, really she's looking to help me become more successful, that she's wanting to talk to me about me. She can't really talk about everybody else and what they're doing, but she's committed to my success. And so we just kind of talked about that, and how that can be a builder in the relationship, even to bring respect for persons and the honesty that's there when we have to have these crucial conversations. We know not every employee is like that. Kelly was speaking to us about that too, right? Where even when you are communicating with them and you're telling them what's needed, that they don't always walk away with that. They're still upset or huffing and puffing when they go out. But, we also talked about it shouldn't be a surprise. So when we're doing performance reviews, it really should not be a surprise to them that they're hearing this. They're not hearing it for the first time, because we should have been communicating that to them throughout the year, throughout the quarter, whichever that is, so that they can continue to try to improve upon that, right? To help them with their growth. So I loved our conversation. I'm not going to take up the whole time if someone else wants to say something about it.
I was going to mention also that another thing Tiffany did was she did acknowledge your perspective. And I thought that was really important. So like when you came through with your claims about, well, what about this? These other people are doing the same thing. She didn't just ignore you. She still acknowledged, right. I understand that you feel this way, and thank you for sharing that with me. So I thought that was a really important part too.
Yes, I agree.
You guys nailed it. You guys nailed it perfectly with the recap. So I don't have anything additional to add. So thanks.
Yes, thank you, ladies. You did a good job, staying true to the steps of crucial conversation. So thank you for that feedback. How about room 3? Anybody want to elaborate and tell us what you talked about?
I was in room 3, but I'm going to see if any of my peers want to share. We had an excellent example. Maybe too excellent, because it was like, it can't go that smoothly, can it? Crucial conversation. But Yolanda and Antoinette did a great job. I don't know if they wanted to give some thoughts.
Yeah, I think Antoinette did a good job. She didn't get, I explained to her that I thought a lot of her work was falling on me, and that it was making me fall behind in my work. And I just wanted to see if she was having any personal issues. Not that she needed to tell me the issues. I just wanted to know if, she's going through things, she needed extra help. And then she told me she wasn't aware that she was behind on anything. So we decided that we should talk with our boss, because that's the one who should be giving us clear boundaries of whose work is whose. I could be mistaken that her work is falling on me, and she could be mistaken thinking that she's getting all of her work done. So we needed to escalate it to the next level amicably, though. Very, very positive conversation. So that's my input on it. I think Antoinette did a great job, because when people come at you like that, and especially when you think you're in the right, it can go very left, right? So, thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Yeah, and Mimi observed that Yolanda went through, the whole, all the steps of the model. Went really well.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just, add just right from the door, it literally was like textbook. So these ladies did a great job from setting the safe space, going through and staying in dialogue, making it safe. There was times where statements were made that a motion could have been drawn, an immediate motion could have happened, and that didn't happen. Agreed on a mutual purpose. It was like, hey, let's bring in, we talk about this decision maker, right? Let's bring in our supervisor. He or she may not be aware this is happening, or he or she may need to be driving some more communication or additional A, B, and C. So I thought that was great. And this was in the moment. And then there was a clear plan of kind of who's doing what, when, and what time. So these ladies did a great job modeling that 7 model process.
And I also wanted to make her feel safe. And I told her, I know that if the shoe was on the other foot, and I knew I could go to her if I was falling behind on my work, because, I did use that term, teamwork makes the dream work. And when one falls behind, we all fall behind. So, and I knew that if I was behind, I started to say, like when I came back from maternity leave and you guys had implemented new things, she was a godsend for me, getting me up to speed. You know, I could have put that in there too. I thought about it, but I didn't want to go too long. But I did make her feel like I knew I could come to her if I was in that same situation. If I felt like I was falling behind, I knew she was a safe space, not even to go run tell the boss, Yolanda's behind begging me to help her. That's the kind of team we are. Okay.
Okay, well, we thank you for that, Yolanda, and for everyone in the breakouts and applying the tools, and hopefully it's something you'll be able to use. So let's just have a brief moment of reflection. If we could go to the next slide, please. So I see, you know, we're going to be drawing on a close here soon, but in the chat, if you could just say one or two words about how you could use this in your role and how the information would change your practice. And if you want to throw some thoughts in the chat, I will share them with the group. Staying neutral. And Chantel is saying, feel free to come off mute too, if you'd like to. That the model can be used both on the job and off the job. That's true, Mimi, thank you. Approach with an open mind and from the heart. Yeah. Thank you, Elena. Another Mainline Health colleague. Establish a sense of trust and unity through clear communication. Yeah, really important, you know, to establish trust. Try to minimize emotions, yeah. Can't get much done when we're working from our emotions. It's very hard to establish, you know, build relationships. Okay. I love this, thank you. We'll incorporate the AMPP framework. That's wonderful. Listening, empathy, plan of action, key, yep. That's all great stuff. I thank you for your participation and your engagement. Everyone seemed to be really, it was easier to check emotions following the model by checking it by head. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much for your time and for your active participation. It's been wonderful. Thank you. I think our next slide really is just a thank you. Oh, that's me. Sorry, wrapping up. So in wrapping up and in summary, right, navigating difficult conversations with confidence in our daily interactions, right? Because critical conversations are really essential for effective leadership. People are looking to you as a leader to, you know, not only in the things we do, but the way in which we do them. So we want to focus on maintaining safety, clarity, and mutual purpose in our conversations, that we have common ground, things that we want to achieve together. And how do we do that? You know, you can use these techniques to practice in real scenarios. Sometimes if you know you're going to have a crucial conversation, try role playing it with someone that you trust. You know, I need to have this conversation with coworker A or B. Let me just run it by you and get your thoughts on it. So very, very helpful. So with that, I think Kelly Warren, Kelly Cox, anything, final thoughts for the group?
No, I appreciate everybody coming in and having a very, very active dialogue. These crucial conversations happen in our everyday life. Like I said, home, in a workplace, out in society, they happen all the time. So there's some very useful tools that we can get to navigate and keep our emotions down, and put the facts forward.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh my gosh. Kelly Warren, Kelly Cox, and Vanessa Saylor, you ladies hit it out of the park with this presentation. Well done. I know it took a lot of work, a lot of coordination between the three of you. You also have full-time jobs and full-time lives behind the scenes that you are dealing with so many other things and compromising things, taking your time. So you all just really blew us away and did a fantastic, fabulous job putting together this session. And as you can see from the chat here, everybody got so much out of it and really, really appreciated the content that you shared and the 7 models and just the practice with this, being in the breakout rooms as well and kind of discussing this at large. So well done, fantastic. Well, just so proud of you all for putting this together. Great job. And I also want to thank our partner, Graduate Philadelphia, Chris and Phil, who are here. Thank you both so much. And of course, thanks to all of you for being here and supporting these ladies and being a part of this program and being engaged with this. And if you want more, we have more for you in terms of leadership development. If you are really looking to be a part of a community, would like to brush up on other topics as well, we are launching a program in April in partnership with NAR, which is the National Association of the National Associations of African Americans in HR. You do not have to be in HR to be a part of this. So if you are interested and want to be in community just like this for 3 months, starting in April and we'll go through June, please consider registering for this program. It will be very similar, having a group of community leaders to support you and helping you get to the next level, but just being in community with others is really powerful. So with that, I'll pass it off to Chris or Phil if you have any other last words you want to share before we close out.
No final words. This was amazing. Congrats. This was huge. This is great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. And so proud of you, Kelly Warren, Kelly Cox, and Vanessa Saylor. Thank you both. You did great. And I also want to give a shout out to the alumni of LIFBW that are here. Shout out. Thank you, ladies, for coming and showing up. It's great to see you all. There's lots of alumni on the call that are past participants. I see you out there. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.